Yeah, yeah. So Dr. Gajrushi, she has two identities actually. One is that she is research associate at Electrical Engineering Department, IIT Bombay, and the other identity for which no, I really wish her good luck, that she has started a startup, you can say, and the startup is about Technokitis India Private Limited, and she is handling the post of director there. As I said, I have a lot of things to tell about madam. Okay, but in short, I will tell you she is the most dedicated researcher in the domain of microfabrication that you would find. Okay, and just to show you that what madam is doing, madam is recently doing transnational research, and she is very good. No. Uh, Person who can handle projects, and these are some of the projects that she has handled. Very few, I mean, I can say. And lastly, I can say that madam is very much involved in developing good academic industries interactions. Okay, so with these very few words, I have a lot of things to tell. As I said, with these few words and without wasting any time, I invite madam to take over the dais and, or the platform and start. Okay, thank you all.
Thanks a lot, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope, madam, you please start. Okay, you please present your screen.
So, good evening, all of you. And I would like to have this as an interactive session, at least for first few slides. The reason is you can turn on your mic, and the reason is why I would like to have this as an interactive session, because you have already learned cantilever processes, and I need your inputs while I'm presenting you this topic. Okay, so I request you to turn on the mic, and so that we can have an interaction.
I can request final year students to talk. Okay, third year students and second year students, they may not, no, they can also interact, but then first final year students, okay, they're all requested to interact with madam. Okay.
Okay, so first I would like to basically it will be difficult for third year, second year student to answer this question. But first I would like to discuss what you can see from these two pictures. Maybe final year student should be in position to tell what exactly these two pictures are. First picture final year student should tell. Second, I think even second year student can also be in a position to tell what is the second picture about. Yes, any one of the final year student? What is the left side picture about? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, madam, you are audible. Let me see final year students in the list. Okay, I think there are many. Manav, you can. I need not take your names. Madam really wanted to make it more interactive, and no, your involvement is really required. Okay, so I would suggest you to do that. If you do not know the answer, you can say no, not a problem.
At least come online and switch on your microphone. Turn on your microphone. Final year student.
It is a cantilever meme.
Ma'am, we are not able to see your screen.
Okay, can you see now?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So left side image, I think only final year student can tell, but right side image, yes, even second year students can also tell.
The left side image is cantilever for the cantilever, like cantilever.
Yes, correct. It is the image of cantilever. What else you can see? Or what else you can judge or predict?
A pressure is being applied on it.
Yeah. But basically, what is the difference? Is it only one cantilever or there are many cantilevers?
No, multiple cantilevers. cantilevers.
Multiple cantilevers. So basically it is an array of cantilever. But what is happening? Only one cantilever seems to be bending. Yes.
Ma'am, it depends upon the number of pressure you're putting on, because every cantilever has different amount of substance you can call an atom, which is bombarded on it.
Yes, yes, correct. So why do you think this is happening? Only one cantilever is deflecting and not all remaining cantilevers, all other cantilevers are deflecting. Think about it. I'm not expecting you to give the answer, but the talk is about that. And what you see from the second picture. Can second year student predict what is the second picture about? There is some rectangular structure is there. Basically, it looks like a transistor. If you see, this is, you can say one yellow marked structure is a source and another structure is a drain. And can you see one hand is coming out of that system? And that hand is picking only TNT. And when other molecules or other gases are also present in the atmosphere, but that hand is picking only TNT. So what basically it is reflecting, or what basically it is telling? It is telling that this transistor structure made up of some molecules, because if you see below that hand, there are some molecular structures, some molecular assembly. So this is basically a transistor with some molecular assembly on top of it, and not other molecules. So can we say it as a sensor? You can keep your mic on for some time. So can
Yes, ma'am.
we say this as a sensor which is selectively taking the TNT? So what basically sensor is? Sensor should sense only one particular thing and not other, right? So what you have learned in cantilever. So okay, this is about the talk. I am planning to cover both the things, like cantilever based platform also and graphene based platform also. Let's see how the time permits. But okay, for cantilever I will go in depth because cantilever you have already studied in your syllabus, and you would be like amazed how this cantilever is working as a sensor. Have this doubt came in your mind sometime? All final year student, I expect you to answer this question. Have you ever thought like how the cantilever is working or is acting as a sensor? When we are saying what is basically cantilever? Cantilever is a structure. Now second year, third year student, please pay attention. Cantilever is a structure which has some anchor layer from one side. You can see my hand. Can you see the hand? It has some anchor layer from left side, and then the another layer it deflects. Now when it will deflect? When there is some pressure from right side, it will deflect. Otherwise it won't. Okay. When pressure is there, it will deflect. Otherwise it will not deflect. Now what happens in case of cantilever? When we say this as a sensing element, consider a case where we are putting this cantilever in some public place, say for explosive detection. What do you feel? How would it work, or how will it work as a sensor? अभी explosive, when we say explosive, that time TNT भी आता है, trinitro-toluene, RDX भी आता है, many other things are there. Apart from that, in that atmosphere, आपने कभी नोटिस किया होगा, अगर आपने ज्यादा परफ्यूम लगाया है, in that case also the sensor start giving signal. फिर वो आपको बाजू में लेके जाते हैं, then they scan and then they try to see like okay, is there, are you carrying some explosive? Have you noticed this thing? So basically, in the atmosphere, you have multiple vapor or multiple gases present together, and you have to selectively detect only one. That is a sensor. Are second year student with me? Are second year students with me? I expect some response from you. Can you hear me?
Yes, third year students at least. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
how does this act as a sensor?
That's what I want you to interact with me. That's why I am asking you questions again and again. So anytime, maybe final year student, when you are working on this cantilever, you are studying cantilever, ये doubt कभी आया क्या कि हम cantilever बना रहे हैं? First thing, how will it act as a sensor? Second thing, उसमें जो pressure मिलेगा, उसमें जो deflection मिलेगा, how that deflection we will convert into the electrical signal. Basically sensor क्या है? सेंसर शुड कन्वर्ट, जो भी सेंसर ट्रांसड्यूसर आपने पढ़ा होगा, सेकंड ईयर में पढ़ा होगा, फर्स्ट ईयर में पढ़ा होगा. सेंसर ट्रांसड्यूसर क्या है? इट कन्वर्ट्स सम मैकेनिकल एलिमेंट और सम अदर एलिमेंट क्वांटिटी इनटू द इलेक्ट्रिकल क्वांटिटी. सो इट विल गिव अस इलेक्ट्रिकल रीडआउट. दैट इलेक्ट्रिकल रीडआउट वी गिव इट टू सिग्नल कंडीशनिंग सिस्टम, एंड आफ्टर सिग्नल कंडीशनिंग सिस्टम वी विल हैव माइक्रोकंट्रोलर, एम्बेडेड सिस्टम प्लेटफॉर्म. आर यू विथ मी? Am I telling right? अभी ये सब पढ़ के मुझे बहुत साल हो गया, 15 साल हो गया, बराबर है, right? So two things. First, that cantilever should detect the change. Sense means what? When unwanted or wanted chemical or molecule come in contact with cantilever, it should sense कि हाँ भाई अभी TNT आया है. If I am detecting explosive molecule TNT or RDX, that cantilever should say हाँ अभी TNT आया है. If I am detecting any DNA, that cantilever should say, हाँ भाई अभी ये XYZ DNA आया है. That is what the cantilever, that is what the sensor is. But how will it do that? Selectively to only one particular signal and not other signals. How will it do that? So that's why if you see the third image, right side image, third right side image, can you see there are again 4 cantilevers. अभी 4 cantilever दिख रहा है, which are same as the first left side image, but वो 4 cantilever के ऊपर कुछ yellow marking है. Can you see those marking? Those marking are nothing but the contact pads. They will help to convert the deflection of the cantilever into the electrical signal. That is a voltage. Can you see the voltmeter attached between the 2 cantilevers? और कुछ resistive elements भी है. Okay. So basically that contact pad, that yellow mark is nothing but a metal layer. That metal layer will act as a contact material, or that metal layer will be responsible for converting deflection of the cantilever to the electrical signal. So transducing part clear हो गया? How cantilever, जो भी मैकेनिकल मूवमेंट है कैंटिलीवर का, वो इलेक्ट्रिकल में कैसे कन्वर्ट होता है? होप दैट इज क्लियर फॉर ऑल यू. नाउ सेकंड इज हाउ दैट कैंटिलीवर स्पेसिफिकली डिटेक्ट ओनली सिंगल मॉलिक्यूल एंड नॉट ऑल अदर मॉलिक्यूल. So can you see here 4 जो पिक्चर्स है कैंटिलीवर के? Those 4 pictures, in that first picture there is nothing, just blank cantilever है, and on second there is some red color का y mark है, red color का, and in that y mark some square molecules have gone and fit in that y mark. So basically that red one y mark is a selective chemical layer. So you can see the middle picture. This green one is a selective chemical layer and it is reactive to specific chemical compound. अगर TNT है, अगर explosive ले लिया, तो ये chemical material, ये जो green layer है, that green layer will be only reactive to TNT and not any other molecule. और if suppose कुछ DNA आपको detect करना है, तो this green layer will be reactive to only XYZ DNA and not DNA say ABC. There are many types of DNA, right? So it will only detect or attach with any particular DNA, that is known as a binding. So it binds with only one particular material. So जो भी एनालाइट हम लोगों को डिटेक्ट करना है, जो भी मटेरियल हमको सेंस करना है, that material should bind with this particular receptor layer or chemical layer. So this green color layer is known as a chemical layer. So here in next steps we will see two things. First thing, how to embed this yellow marking, that is nothing but the contact pads, and piezoresistivity in the cantilever. So have you studied piezoresistive cantilever in your syllabus, final year student? Have you studied?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry?
Yes, ma'am, we have studied.
You have studied. So how will you create a piezoresistive cantilever?
Ma'am, so basically we dope a element. I don't remember the name of that element. It's a piezoresistive element. So we use a doping technique to form a layer of that on top. It has a specific thickness, and
Okay.
that will behave as a piezoresistive layer. Like you dope it on a substrate.
Okay. Okay. So here I will quickly go through the cantilever. So have you gone through these steps before? Do you know these fabrication steps, final year students? Okay, for second year, third year, I will repeat the steps. So how do we fabricate the cantilever? So first, cantilever structure are generally fabricated. The cantilever about which I am talking about, they are fabricated in silicon cantilever. Basically, they are micro cantilevers. So size dimension जो है 50 micron, 100 micron at the max होता है 50 micrometer, 100 micrometer, not more than that. 100 micrometer भी बहुत बड़ा हो गया. Okay, so these are really tiny nano scale, micro scale cantilevers, and we start with the silicon wafer with some piezoresistivity, and its resistivity is 4 to 7 ohm centimeter, and it is a P-type material, and it is 100. This is basically for fabrication purpose. This is a better than on this silicon. First thing is, when silicon wafers have been come through the transportation or come from the foundry, that time they have some organic contaminants on top of it, dust particles, some contaminants are there, and we need to clean it. So there is a standard cleaning method, and last year I had conducted one lecture in that I have told this method in detail. Now I will not tell, but I will just tell there is a standard cleaning method for a silicon wafer. It requires, in the research lab, when you clean it, it requires around 2 to 2.5 hours to clean the silicon wafer with this standard cleaning wafer. In first step, it removes all organic impurities, and then there is a one step to remove metallic or inorganic impurities. So there are basically two steps. Immediately after cleaning, we need to send the wafer to the system known as oxidation chamber or oxidation system, and herein we grow the SiO2 using dry oxide method, thermal oxidation. After that, now you can see the silicon wafer which has 1 micron SiO2 on top of it is ready. Now we will start fabricating the cantilever. Now this 1 micron oxide is a sacrificial layer. Sacrificial layer क्या होता है? The material which sacrifices itself. So finally, this silicon won't be there in this cantilever structure. The cantilever will be made up of some polymer, and that polymer is known as SU8 polymer. So हम अभी बना रहे हैं SU8 polymer का cantilever, which has very good characteristics as in cantilever. So SU8 का cantilever हम बना रहे हैं. This 1 micron SiO2 will act as a sacrificial layer in this case. Now after SiO2 growth, we will spin coat SU8, and after spin coating SU8, this polymer, अभी हमको polymer सब जगह पे नहीं चाहिए. Finally cantilever कैसे रहेंगे? Can you see this picture? The left side image. Left side image is a cantilever structure. This is rectangular cantilever. This is rectangular cantilever. This is triangular cantilever. So finally cantilever is a hanging structure. Rectangular है, triangular है, U shape है, कौन सा भी shape है. Finally it is a hanging hanging structure. So we need only this much area. जो hanging part है, उतना ही part. If you see here, only this much portion is a cantilever. So हमको अभी हमारे पास पूरा वेफर है. No, what you say, no dip here below the cantilever. But अभी hanging करने के लिए we need to remove the material below underneath the cantilever. And how we will do that? So we will use the lithography for that and particular mask for that. So you can see this mask. If you see it very clearly, the right side image, ekdam chota sa, that is the mask, and there you can see a small rectangle. Those small rectangular is nothing but a cantilever structure, and that will be protected during the lithography. Remaining all portion will get removed. So after lithography, you can see the fourth one. The fourth picture will be remained. Now what we need to do on this cantilever? We need to pattern this yellow marking. Yellow marking is what? Yellow marking is nothing but the metallic layer that we want to pattern. So to pattern that, we have to deposit chrome gold layer. So chrome gold layer deposition has been done using thermal evaporator. I will not go in much deep. And again, now chrome gold has deposited everywhere. Now we don't want it everywhere. We want selectively on some particular area. So for that, we again what we will do? We will spin coat positive photoresist, that is PPR, positive photoresist, and then we will do lithography. After lithography, we will do chrome gold etching, PPR removal. Finally, the second structure what we see has been remained. So now, are you getting the feel of some cantilever kind of a structure? So if now I make here some kind of a hanging, will this cantilever hang? Are you getting the feeling it is like upside down cantilever? Yes, you can see like this. So this portion will be hanged. This triangular portion will be hanged. This rectangular portion will be hanged. अभी हमने ये जो yellow mark है, that is nothing but the contact pad. So ये contact pad भी अभी बना लिए हैं. Now what we want to make? This all is a contact pad. Wherever I am making the marking is a contact pad. Now what we want to make? We want to make this anchor layer. Before that, we want to add piezoresistive layer. So what kind of piezoresistive layer I am trying? I am going to try here carbon black as a piezoresistive layer. So carbon black jo hai, they are small nanoparticles, and now we will spin those nanoparticles. We will dissolve those nanoparticles in SU8 again. SU8 is the polymer, or it is like a free flowing hota hai wo. It is like an ink. So we will dissolve that carbon black in SU8. After dissolving carbon black in SU8, what we will do? We will spin that carbon black on top of SU8. After spinning that, we will again do the lithography, and then you can see this black portion. This is the layer of carbon black SU8 finally. So this carbon black has a piezoresistive property. So I am fabricating the cantilever which has a piezoresistive property, so that any binding or any deformation in the cantilever can be converted into the electrical signal. And then finally, on top of this carbon black, I will put the encapsulation layer. So this is the encapsulation layer, and this encapsulation layer is again a SU8 layer. This encapsulation layer is again a SU8 layer. Okay, and then after this SU8 layer, what now we would like to have? Now अभी cantilever बन गया, cantilever को ऊपर से नीचे से हमने encapsulate कर लिया, cantilever में piezoresistor डाल दिया. So piezoresistive layer is a carbon black. We have embedded piezoresistive layer. On top of that and below that, we have SU8 layer. SU8 layer is a structural layer, and that structural layer has a property to deflect. Why? Because now we will dig the portion underneath it. Now how to dig? So instead of doing that, digging it from underneath and using deep RI technique and all, what we will do, on top of this cantilever, we will grow the anchor layer. So we have the anchor layer here, and then I will rotate it down. So now this will act as a cantilever, this portion. My hand, you can see my hand here. So it will act as a cantilever. So how I will do that? So now on top of this cantilever structure, I have grown. I have again spin coated SU8, and this SU8, you can see this SU8, and then did the lithography and allowed the SU8 to stay only on this particular area. Means जो cantilever का, it will act as an anchor for the cantilever. Now after that, I will remove this oxide. Can you see this green color oxide? That I will remove. How I will remove it? So when I will put the entire structure, in BHF. BHF is क्या है? BHF is hydrochloric acid. और hydrochloric acid क्या करता है? It reacts with the SiO2. It reacts with the silica. It reacts with the SiO2, and it etches away the SiO2. So what we get when we flip it, when we do it upside down, we get the cantilever structure. So are all of you with me till cantilever fabrication? Any doubt in cantilever fabrication? When you see it is upside down, you can see this portion is now free to rotate like this, flip down. Okay, and can you see the ACM image here? From this ACM image, you can clearly see, like in this area, there is some depth, and there is no material is there below this triangle. On this left, the B part, the right side ACM image is a ACM image of the SU8 carbon black nanocomposite film. So this is how the carbon black material looks like. So are you with me till this point? Any doubt in the cantilever fabrication? So I am assuming there are no doubts in the cantilever fabrication. So going ahead, now we have cantilever, we have piezo-resistive layer in the cantilever, and now we have contact pads on the cantilever. Now how to attach this cantilever in the circuit? So what I have done, if you see this is a simple small PCB, and on this PCB, I have attached the cantilever and soldered the wires. So now I have the contact pads of the cantilever are accessible to me through these red wires. Now how we will use this structure? So now when cantilever deflects, it produces change in the resistance. Right? Final year student, am I right? When cantilever deflects, that time it produces change in the resistance, and that delta R, change in the resistance, delta R we can measure, and we can convert that delta R into the voltage signal by means of Wheatstone bridge. So when we want to incorporate this cantilever in the circuit or in the microcontroller based platform, and finally if we would like to have a electrical readout signal on some say electrical readout signal on say LCD display or on some other display on PC, what we will do, I have done this Wheatstone bridge arrangement. So change in the resistance will be deflected in the change in the voltage, and that voltage further, this buffer amplifier is there, it will be amplified, and then there are some other amplifier, ADC, microcontroller. So this is our the next is our embedded system. Okay, so like that the signal will be amplified and we can read it from the PC. So अभी हमारा cantilever में electrical readout हो गया, and then everything, it can convert the change in the resistance to the voltage, and how the resistance will be changes after the deflection of cantilever. Now we have to see when and how cantilever will deflect. That we need to see. So here is an array of a cantilever. Here is an array of a cantilever, these are non-bent cantilever. But if I coat each of these cantilever with a particular molecule, say PVP, polyvinyl chloride, say that PVC, or some other molecule, polyvinyl pyridine or PMMA, polymethyl methacrylate. So each of these polymer, each of these molecules have their own property to bind with one particular element available in the atmosphere. And accordingly, when this PVP coated cantilever, this PVP binds with say X element, then only PVP coated cantilever will bend. Remaining all cantilevers will not bend. And accordingly, we can say this X element is present because first cantilever has bent. Okay, so coming back to our original exposure detection system, herein we have coated the cantilevers. We had taken 4 cantilevers. One is a reference or uncoated cantilever. So, and the remaining 3 are the cantilevers coated with the 3 different molecules. So now, if we see the first cantilever coated with the molecule 1, can you see here TNT, RDX, PETN? So it gives me around minus 22 millivolt of change in the voltage when TNT comes in the atmosphere or come in contact with this. But at the same time, change with respect to RDX is only minus 30 millivolt. And PETN is minus 10 millivolt, even lesser than that. But if you see the second cantilever, which has molecule 2 coated on it, it will have, when RDX come, it will have around minus 17 millivolt change, for TNT minus 10 millivolt, for PETN minus 10 millivolt. And again, if third molecule, cantilever third coated with the third molecule, if you see this, you can see for TNT, there is a different basically pattern. For TNT, it is minus 20, for RDX minus 30, for PETN, it is minus 12. So this is the different pattern. And now there are certain algorithms known as pattern recognition algorithms for classifying analyte molecules. And these all algorithms can take care. Now when you feed this data, then these all pattern recognition algorithms take care, and then they produce a specific signal. And then they can say, okay, the molecule came in contact with the cantilevers or the entire sensor is a TNT, it is a RDX, or it is a PETN. So this way the cantilever sensors work basically. Now how to find out whether these molecules, whether this chemical layer has been really structurally grown on the cantilever. So for that we have various techniques like ACM, I told you one, and there are another techniques like KPFM. So I will explain the remaining technique with respect to another class of micro sensors, that is nothing but the field effect transistor. So all now even second year students will be in position to understand this physics behind this field effect transistor. So now this field effect transistor is not a general field effect transistor. It is not a silicon field effect transistor, though it is made on top of silicon only. But the channel, we are keeping the channel material as it is, and that channel material is nothing but the graphene. So how? So I will just give you overview of the system and not go in much detail for the graphene fabrication of the transistor, because it itself is a huge topic. So I will just say you, we have fabricated the graphene transistor through some process steps. Like first is the graphene has been grown with by using chemical vapor deposition method on copper foil, and then after several transfer and several processes, here we can see the graphene transistor has been formed. It has source, drain, gate, and this internal hexagonal structure is a graphene channel. Now what we are doing to add a chemical specificity, we are inducing some molecules, chemical molecules on top of graphene. And then, so this is known as functionalization or doping of graphene. So finally the graphene transistor will look like this. So now how to do the measurement for this transistor? So for measurements, so first when you say the transistor, that time or field effect transistor, the important measurement is we need to measure the gate voltage and the drain current. So drain current versus gate voltage characteristics we need to plot. So in case of a normal transistor, we have gate voltage characteristics, something like that. That is called a transfer characteristic. Like up to few voltage, up to few gate voltage, the transistor is off, and then it flows. There is a flow of current through the transistor. So now in this case, here the transistor is permanently on, but at particular few voltages, there is a if you see here, here is a minimum voltage, and this minimum voltage is known as a Dirac voltage or Dirac point. Or you can even say the threshold voltage. Okay, so how to measure that particular? So we have fabricated this entire structure. Now single transistor we don't fabricate. We generally fabricate array of transistor, and it has source, drain, and in between this channel material, that is graphene. So if you see here, can you see this rectangular portion? You can see such a mini square pattern here, and they have marked 10, 16, 22. So this square pattern are nothing but the Gibbs patterns. That's why you can see square there. This one is source, another is drain. Source, drain. This half circle, what you can see is nothing but the silicon wafer. And on top of that silicon wafer, we have designed these transistors. And the so here is the schematic. So this silicon substrate acts as a gate or back gate. So we view here VG, gate voltage. SiO2 acts as a dielectric. Then this graphene acts as a channel. So instead of metal oxide gate, here we have graphene, then oxide, and then gate. And now what happens when we allow the gate voltage? That time from source to drain there is a flow of current. And as we change this gate voltage is variable. As we change this gate voltage, say -100 to +100 volt, so then there is a change in the current. Now what happens? Now I have functionalized this graphene with particular material. That material has been modified with the zinc atoms or zinc ion. And when this zinc modified material, this zinc modified graphene, when we check under the electrical measurement system, this is electrical measurement system, and this electrical measurement, this is known as 4-probe station. I think these students have done 4-probe measurement experiments also. So this is basically 4-probe station. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 probes are there. Here samples has been placed, and we can adjust the probe position by means of this optical microscope. Now what happened? This IDVG curve, black color, is for a graphene, simple graphene transistor. Then blue color is a curve for the zinc modified graphene transistor, and pink color is after the TNT. So what happens when we modify the graphene transistor with this zinc modified material? Then that time this Dirac point, can you see this Dirac point? This Dirac point has shifted to some higher value. Say it was around +5 volt before. Now it is around +18 volt. And when TNT flows, it further shifts to around +28 volt. So this shift in Dirac point, that is a sensing parameter for this particular system. For cantilever system, we have seen delta R by R, or delta R is a sensing parameter. This particular system, change in the Dirac point is a sensing parameter. Now, if I don't modify the GFAT, graphene transistor, with the zinc modified chemical, at that time I won't see any shift when it is exposed to TNT. TNT is an explosive, trinitrotoluene. When it is exposed to trinitrotoluene material, it won't shift. So thus, this particular zinc metalated ion, they are helping the graphene transistor to become the sensor for TNT. Getting? Now, how we see whether this material has gone on the graphene transistor, how graphene is exactly looking like. You know, graphene is, what is graphene exactly? Graphene is a single atomic layer of the carbon atom. Single atomic layer means thickness of graphene would be 2 to 3 nanometer. And how we identify this? And therefore, for these measurements, we have some atomic level measurement tools available. One of such tools is scanning electron microscopy. It sends high energy beam of electrons on the surface of the sample, so that beam of electron will interact with sample and it produces secondary electrons. Now these secondary electrons will be collected by the detector and then they form the image of the sample. I am telling you in very crude language or very simplified language. And it gives us topography of the sample, how sample look like. So if you see this left side, this left side top image is the entire SEM system, scanning electron microscope system. Below images, it is a array of transistor. Now can you see here like 20 number, 26 number, and then there are the 2 contact pads and there is a gap in between that contact pad. So this is the transistor. So if we zoom it, we can say like this. So this is a source, this is drain, and between source and then this dark line or dark channel is a graphene. It is monolayer graphene, 2-dimensional thin sheet of carbon. So this is how exactly graphene looks like. And now I have modified graphene for using a receptor Zn, using a Zn material. So can you see the changes in the morphology or topography of the graphene? Now we can see like some material has been embedded or doped on in the graphene. So this is how, with the help of SEM, we can identify the material. Now another is Kelvin probe force microscopy. Now this SEM gives us only picture of the surface, what is happening at the surface. If there are some other molecules present on the surface, what is exactly happening. Now Kelvin probe force microscopy, what it gives. Now work function, for final year student, how must have studied the work function. I think for second year also you would know what work function is. Every material has its own work function. And now when material gets doped, there is a changes in the work function. Now this terminology has been used here in the KPFM. Now what they have used? So KPFM, Kelvin probe force microscopy. Probe means what? Some probing system is there. So you can see this is a probe. And force microscopy, you are applying the some force. So Kelvin probe force microscopy में क्या होता है? On the sample, the probe tip will be moved on the sample. Now the sample has its own work function. Probe tip has its own work function. The work function of probe tip is well known to us because we select the probe tip with the say platinum probe tip. उसका particular work function रहता है. So we know because it is a standard material. But sample under test, we don't know the work function of the sample under test. So now when this probe come and touch to the sample, what happens? जब दो material, when they come and contact with each other, they try to align the vacuum layer, and when this vacuum level align करते वक्त, there is some potential difference gets generated. This potential difference. Now in Kelvin probe force microscopy, this much potential difference it's provided externally, known as VDC, so that the valence band of the sample and the probe tip both will get aligned. But in this alignment, what is happening? The Fermi level, can you see here? The Fermi level of sample and Fermi level of the tip, they have misaligned. So using this, we can calculate the Fermi level of the sample or work function of the sample. How it is calculated? This is the formula to calculate the work function of the sample. The formula is work function of the sample is equal to work function of the tip minus Q electron charge into change in the CPD. CPD is change in the potential difference. This CPD, this change in the potential difference, it is in the electron volt. So now come to the A, B, C, D, E, F, these figures. Now figure A is a figure of a graphene, and you can see it is a clear image of a graphene. And if you see now C figure gives you height profile. This Z is a height profile. Height profile means now on this graphene, the probe tip will scan like this, and then it will measure the height of the graphene with respect to the its base, like SiO2. अभी हम क्या करेंगे? We will first have SiO2, and on SiO2 we will deposit graphene. So with respect to SiO2, हमको we will get some height. That height profile has been measured by means of this Z. So this Z gives us height profile. Can you see what is the height of graphene? Height of graphene is 2 to 3 nanometer. And then B image is a plot of contact potential difference. So at a single point, it has, for say at a 1 micrometer position, it has scanned more than 200 times to get the image. Okay, so from in this area, it has scanned around 200 times to get this image. So this gives us around minus 60 millivolt of contact potential difference. When we use this formula, we get work function of graphene as 4.79 electron volt. Now this is D is a zinc modified graphene. So can you see again some doped element on top of it? And because of that, now if you see the F image, in the F image, if you see the height profile, you can see this has been increased to say 6 to 7 nanometer. Earlier it was 2 to 3 nanometer. This is, now it has increased to 6 to 7 nanometer. Okay, so height has been increased. Why? Because of the doping of this material on top of graphene. And now the contact potential difference has changed to plus. This was minus 62, 63 millivolt or 65 millivolt. Now it is around plus 25 millivolt. And because of that, the work function increased to 4.86 electron volt, and changes in the Fermi level has been found to be 0.07 electron volt. So this is the tool with which we can detect the work function of the graphene. Apart from that, okay, so similarly, this tool further can be used for the detection of TNT, and upon this TNT, when the TNT molecules comes and attach with this modified graphene, Zn modified graphene, it gives us again increase in the contact potential difference. So can you see the GFAT has around minus 75 millivolt, Zn modified has increased to 25 millivolt, and after TNT exposure, it has increased to around 140 millivolt. The CPD value, contact potential difference. So accordingly, we can find out for more exposure time also, and for increasing the exposure dose also, like from 4 ppb to 260 ppb. If you see, there is a systematic increase in the contact potential difference. So this is how this atomic level interaction has been traced by means of these several systems. One more system is the XPS. XPS is the X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy. We have seen SEM. SEM is a scanning electron microscope. Therein only electrons has been involved. Now in XPS, there are photoelectrons are involved. Photoelectrons means what? Sample is radiated with X-ray photon, and then they emit photoelectron. Those emitted photoelectron has been collected by the detector system again, and then it will give the surface phenomenon, what is happening at the surface. Now here in this graph, if you see, the black color is a graphene and red color is a modified graphene or chemically modified graphene. Now I have used the chemical which has NH2 group. The chemical which I have used, it has NH2 group and sulfur attached to it. So when this chemical bind with graphene, it detects the NH2 group. How it detects the NH2 group? Earlier there was no peak. Now this graph is with respect to binding. This graph is at various binding energy. So for graphene, if we see, there is no peak around 400 or 399 electron volt. But for this, there is a N1s peak has occurred at 399 electron volt. This peak corresponds to NH2 peak. Then there is two peaks corresponds to sulfur peak, S2S peak. They are 227 and 164. They were not there before for the graphene. Similarly, CM peak has also appeared, this peak. It was not there earlier. Then C1S peak has pronounced, this C1S peak. So all this shows that the graphene has been modified with a material which has sulfur attached to it, which has NH2 group attached to it. And with the help of that, we can say this is like, okay, it is graphene has been modified with that particular chemical. So like that, these all are the atomic scale images, atomic scale methods to identify the changes in the molecular structure. Similarly, there is a one more which is known as Raman spectroscopy. So it will take more time to discuss and explain the Raman spectroscopy. So this is about the how atomic level characterization of the sensor and sensing platform has been done. So any doubts you have?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Shivani from final year.
Okay.
So, as you said that zinc material is used for modifying the graphene, right? So, what
Yes.
makes zinc a very unique material to do with that? So, we get each peak at a different level, so we can detect each material. So, what makes zinc as a unique one?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Can you please repeat? Repeat
Yeah,
or
ma'am.
type in the chat window.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible to you? Ma'am, what makes zinc as a special material to be modified into graphene? I just want to know that.
So this is not a zinc material only. This is zinc modified material. So that material, now why I have highlighted on the zinc only, because generally we know that zinc and this zinc is a central metal ion basically in that material. That's why I have highlighted it as a zinc material, but it is a zinc metallated porphyrin. So if you see the first image, this one, this material, just wait. This material is the material which has zinc at the center and other benzene rings around it, some other molecules. It is known as porphyrin. So that molecule is attached to TNT. Now how it is attached to TNT? So this porphyrin molecule is it has more electrons to donate, and TNT is an electron hungry component. So because of that, it accepts the electron from the zinc, thereby it accepts the electron from the graphene, and it makes the graphene more hole doped or p doped, and that's how we recognize. So if you see, this is the what this conical structure, if you see, this is the energy band structure of the graphene, this conical structure, and this line is nothing but the Fermi level, EF of the graphene. So this is valence band, This is conduction band that you must be knowing. So this valence band, if you see after exposure to TNT, this valence band is shifting further down. Means it is getting more holdover. Why it is getting more holdover? Because TNT being an electron hungry component, it easily attracts the electron. It captures the electron from porphyrin and underneath graphene system, and thereby we can say porphyrin binds with the TNT. So porphyrin is a very well-known component. इसको भी नोबेल प्राइज मिला था porphyrin discovery को, and it is like a hemoglobin is also kind of a porphyrin. So it is like widely found in the in our atmosphere or in nature. So
basically, ma'am, material should be such that it has very higher donor capacity, so it can attract TNT component.
yes, for TNT it has that, basically it has the binding ability with some kind of a with the analyte which you want to detect, and that's how the sensing works. Like suppose if you use this TNT and dope the cantilever by means of if you use this porphyrin, dope the cantilever by means of porphyrin, again what will happen? When TNT will come, TNT will bind with the porphyrin, it will take out few electrons from the porphyrin, and because of that, few electrons if it has taken out, because of that there is a change in the resistance of the cantilever on which porphyrin is potent, and that cantilever will deflect. So that change you can measure in case of cantilever system. So similarly, there are many such molecules which can selectively bind with a different material. So I can give you more 2-hour lecture, like how I have identified the selectivity and only with TNT, not with other component like MDNV. TNT has a trinitrotoluene, means 3 nitro group. Tri means 3 nitro groups. There is a DNV, dinitrobenzene ring. So it has 2 nitro groups. There is a nitrobenzene. It has single nitro group, mononitrobenzene group. So how it selectively attaches with TNT, there is again a systematic study has been done. How it detects 4 ppb TNT, कितना direct point change होता है, अब valence band कितने valence band में जाता है, Fermi level, and for 260 ppb how much changes in the Fermi level, how much changes in the contact potential difference, how much changes in the direct point position. All systematic study has been done. So it was difficult to cover in the 1 hour, and the more focus was on the atomic level characterization tools basically used in the sensing. But to understand make you understand the tools and make it practically oriented, I gave you glimpses of 2 sensors, like cantilever based sensor and graphene transistor based sensors.
Thank you, ma'am. It was
Any other doubt?
Great interacting with you. Thank you for clearing my doubt.
Yeah, welcome. You are most welcome. Anyone else has doubt? Maybe if possible, all of you can, if possible, switch on your camera so that I can see you all. You can turn on your camera. Anyone else had? So I can see your Lance Fernandez. I think he has done internship at IIT Bombay. Is he there?
Yes, ma'am.
So how was your experience?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I worked on the Dr. Bhaskaran Muralidharan. You know him, ma'am?
Yes, I know.
Yes, so ma'am, I worked under him on different concepts such as like fabrication of silicon quantum dots, and then I also worked on other problems such as like how to effectively, use the effect of conduction band values and like what is their effect on spin manipulation in the silicon quantum dots. So I got to study that as well, and then again I understood like the effect of Coulomb blockade in electron transport, how it affects, etc.
Nice, very nice. So maybe you can direct the third year and second year student like how to get involved in the micro fabrication, nano fabrication technique. Basically, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you all that this area is very much, like you say, it is a very much new area in which they really need expert people, but there is a lack of means a lack of people who know what VLSI is, what VLSI design is. Highly paid jobs are available in VLSI subjects in fabrication. I must tell you one example from our lab. He was just a BE pass out. Few years, 5-6 years before, he has completed his BE from a village like a city, not even a city. It was not even a district base. From that college, he completed BE. He worked as a project staff here in IIT Bombay for a few years, and he used to handle the lithography tool. He became master in that. He started his salary with a few some 25-30,000, and now see he did not get any placement from any of the college, any good multinational company and all. Now he has been selected in topmost fabrication company in Chandigarh, and now what was his 1 year earning here, that was his 1 month earning. And such a huge, within 5 years he has got more than around 15 to 20 times increment, not percent, 15 to 20 times increment in the salary. Why? They have not selected because he has done MTech, he has done his BE from Mumbai or Pune University. They have just selected because he has knowledge of the fabrication technique. He even did not have excellent academic record, both first class है 70% है 75% है, nothing, कुछ नहीं. But he knows many fabrication tools in the lab. That's why he has selected in the Chandigarh, and that company is the Tower Semiconductor करके है. It is the most prominent company who is backing the SCL Chandigarh, जो SCL company है चंडीगढ़ का. And there are many such examples. If you don't want to go to Fab Lab, you can go in VLSI design. You can work in backend VLSI. You can work in analog VLSI, mixed signal VLSI. ASIC design में आप लोग काम कर सकते हो. So there are many streams are possible. And why I am so much endorsing on VLSI and not on embedded system and on some other things? Do you know? Can you guess why I am so much endorsing on the VLSI only? The thing is, yes, all other things really required. Embedded system पता होना चाहिए, coding पता होना चाहिए, IoT based thing पता होना चाहिए, सब कुछ पता होना चाहिए. But if you see, this IoT system has based upon the VLSI. It is based upon the number of molecules. It is based upon the Moore's law. Number of components on each IC are getting doubled every 24 months. Because of that, we are now getting smaller devices. It directly affected the consumer electronics area. It directly affected the biomedical electronics area. It directly affected transport, everything. Now you just tell me of one system which don't use electronic component. And why everything can, even automobile industry, they are replacing many things with electronic components. कितना सब कुछ microcontroller based है. Why this has been possible? Why IoT based system has been possible? Why we have handy mobile phone? 10 years down the line, the mobile phone used to be bulky. So why this has been happened? The reason is miniaturized devices, miniaturized circuit, and this is nothing but the VLSI. So more you go into that, and now what? As a customer, I want even a smaller mobile phone. I want even a smarter mobile phone. Laptop का size भी छोटा हो गया तो भी चलेगा. Some innovative way I want, and that's why there is a lot of possibilities, lot of job opportunities, research opportunities in this VLSI. So yeah, we can take up some other time about the job opportunities and research